Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to HLTV Channel 15, where the Harlan Community Cyclones girls will start off this girl-boy doubleheader against the AHSTW Vikings. This is senior night for both the boys and the girls. Before we get this game underway, I will announce the seniors for the girls team. Michaela Burchett, who's number 8. Number 9, Reagan Wicks. Number 13, Mackenzie Livingston. Number 19, Vanessa Scheckinger. Number 22, Claire Schmitz. Number 23, Bryn Clausen. And 00, the keeper, Lexi Musage. Those are all the seniors this year on this girls soccer team. As Avoca got things started here, looks like head coach Jared Boyson is going to start all of the seniors. As this is Livingston, who will pass it to Good. Now Miller will launch it forward. Clausen will pass it across the field to Burchett. Burchett can't catch up to it, so it'll go out of bounds off of these Cyclones. This is Wicks who passes it to Good. Livingston will get tripped up, but no call on the play. As Munson will step up and steal this away from the Vikings. Kiergaard trying to pass it to Burchett. Goes out of bounds, so the Vikings will get it back. This is Wicks who has it. She'll pass this to Argensinger. Now Argensinger will take a shot on goal. This will be picked up by the AHSTW keeper. Now the Vikings will launch this forward. Musage will run up and grab this one. Miller kicks it out of bounds. So the Vikings will get it back. Ball travels out of bounds, so Musage will kick this one out of the box. Now Burchett will pass this up to Wicks. Wicks doing a nice job of sticking with it. And she'll pass this up ahead to Argensinger. Argensinger will have to race to catch up to this one. This is kicked out of bounds by Mertz. Clausen passes it to Wicks. Back to Clausen. This is Kiergaard who has it. She'll try fitting it into Burchett. Munson will step up and knock it down. She'll chuck this one deep down to Burchett. Goes off the back of Burchett. Excuse me, goes off the Vikings. So Munson will pass it in. Raven Munson with a nice flip off the head of Wicks and almost travels into the goal. It's saved by the HSTW keeper. Did a nice job of getting her hands on that one. Wicks with a nice pass up to Argensinger. Now Argensinger on the run. She's going to try to get there before the keeper does. They both get there at the same time and it travels out of bounds. The Cyclones will have their first corner kick of the night. Wicks will pass this to Burchett. Now this goes off of AHSTW. Kiergaard will pass it back to Schmitz. Schmitz with a nice pass in the middle, and the Cyclones are going to get a goal off this. This is Wicks. Excuse me, nope, they're going to call offsides, as I think they had Wicks. I think Wicks was fine, but when Burchett hit it, I think she was offsides. If Wicks would have hit it, I think it would have been fine, but Burchett was the first to touch it. Now Clausen will weave her way through the middle. Kiergaard passes it up to Good. Now Burchett on the left side trying to cut back to the middle. It's taken away by the Vikings once again, and the Vikings will go ahead and kick this out of bounds. Nice header by Wicks off the pole. Argensinger trying to stick with it, and it'll go out of bounds. Wicks almost has 3 goals here tonight. None of them count. 2 saved by the goalie and 1 called for offsides. Cyclones have gotten opportunities early in this first half. Vikings have had no opportunities to even shoot on goal, as the Cyclones have kept it down on this side of the field for the most part, as the keeper will run up and grab this one. Nice pass by Kiergaard up to Wicks. Now Wicks will weave her way. Reagan Wicks gets into the open field, and the goalie will run up and grab this one before Wicks is able to put a foot on it once again. Munson will come up and cut that off as the Vikings will kick this all the way downfield. Now Musage will kick it back in the box so she can pick it up. Kierkegaard trying to pass it to Livingston. Now the Cyclones will sub in Cassie Anderson, Kayla Anderson, Aubrey Schwiezo, Ivy Stevens, and Alexia Frosto. This is Stevens who will cut it back. Frausto will work it upfield as she passes this to Wicks. Wicks will try to pass this up to Stevens. Stevens saves it before it goes out of bounds, but she will kick this one too hard as it travels out of bounds, and the Vikings will now kick it out of the box. Frausto will run up, kick this to the other side of the field to Cassie Anderson. Anderson trying to turn it back to Kayla Anderson. Now Kayla Anderson will shoot, and Kayla Anderson will score. That's the Cyclones' first goal of the game. Kayla Anderson, who just got into the game, will score the first goal of the night for the Harlan Community Cyclones. That goal comes with 27 minutes and 57 seconds left to play in the first half. Vikings will resume action. Kayla Anderson back with it. She will pass this one up to Schwiezo on the far side. Aubrey Schwiezo looking to pass it back to Wicks. This will bounce back off Wicks, so the Vikings will pass it in. Now Wicks has it in the center of the field as she'll pass this up looking for Stevens. Gets deflected by the Vikings. Schmitz will run up and kick it downfield. Anderson with it. She'll make a move on the Vikings as she tries to turn this one back to the middle. Stolen by the Vikings as Schmitz is there to contest. She knocks this to Schwezo. The Vikings once again kick it back downfield, which they've been doing all night. Just not able to get it all the way downfield. As Munson doing a nice job of dribbling this ball up. Wicks with a nice pass to Stevens. Now Stevens one-on-one with the goalie. She'll shoot. And this one is knocked down by the keeper. And this one gets past the defenders of the Cyclones. Musage will run out of the box. She'll kick this one to Frausto. This goes off the foot of Kiergaard. Kiergaard kicks this all the way up for the Cyclone. Mishandled by the Vikings. Schwezo puts a stop to the ball. A nice move by Schwezo as she'll work it back upfield. Schwezo will shoot, and this one's a little bit too high as it skies over the goal, as the Vikings will now kick it out of the box. Kayla Anderson will get it back as she'll turn it upfield. Puts a move on the Vikings. Now she breaks loose. Kayla Anderson will shoot, and she is wide right of the goal, and this one will go out of bounds. So the Vikings will have another kick out of the box. Anderson trying to pass that to Stevens. It's a beautiful pass by Anderson. Stevens unable to catch up to that one. I'm going to say that this was deflected off of the Vikings. So Wicks will have a corner kick. Nice move by Wicks as she cuts it back inside. She has a clear shot just wide right. Wicks doing a nice job of crossing up the Vikings. Vikings will kick it out of the box. This one travels to Cassie Anderson. That's Cassie Anderson who took a shot on goal. The keeper ends up with this one in her hands, and she'll boot this one away as Munson will knock it down. Travels to Miller. This one's kicked back downfield. It'll travel out of bounds. So the Cyclones will pass it in. Musage will pick this one up for the Cyclones. She'll boot this downfield to Wicks. Wicks looking for someone to pass it to. Let's go off Schwezo. Now Schwezo's on the run. Schwezo's going to have a one-on-one with the goalie. Goalie comes and approaches Schwezo and deflects off the goalie out of bounds. Nice job by the keeper. As the Cyclones will sub 4 more in. Tatiana Schumer, Burchett, Argensinger, and Good all come back in the game. And it looks like we're going to get a little bit of a water break as it's about 90 degrees outside today. Can only imagine what it'd feel like out on that turf. So they'll take a break and we'll take a break with them. You're watching HLTV on channel 15.
Programming brought to you by these great sponsors: Keast Motors, Cyclone Lanes, Shelby County State Bank, United Bank of Iowa, Holly Jones Funeral Homes, KNOD Radio, Shelby County Farmers Mutual and Century Farm Insurance, and the Peterson Wellness Center and Lewis Family Aquatic Complex.
Welcome back to HLTV channel 15. After a short little water break, girls come back out onto the field. Cyclones get set to attempt their corner kick as Argensinger looks like she'll attempt it for the Cyclones. This goes off the head of the Vikings. Frosto will get it down to the ground, and this one's saved once again by the Vikings keeper. As she'll boot this downfield, Kiergaard's there. Goes off of her knee. Now the Vikings kick it up. Schumer will let this travel out of bounds. She'll pass it in for the Cyclones. Schmitz will run with it as she'll pass it up to Stevens. This is out of bounds. Schumer will pass it in for the Cyclones. Cyclones work it in and back out. Doing a nice job of passing as Kiergaard will pass this up to Stevens. Stevens running with it. Keeper comes out of the box, and this one's going to bounce off the pole and in for another Cyclone goal. Give credit to Stevens on that one, as I think it crossed the plane before Argensinger got there on the back side. So we'll go ahead and give that to Ivy Stevens as she puts the Cyclones on the board. 2 goals to none against the AHSTW Vikings. This will go off of Anderson and travel to the far side of the field as Schmitz is there contesting the Vikings. Schmitz kicks it back to Miller, who passes it up in the vicinity of Anderson. Now Anderson with a nice pass to Argensinger. Argensinger will be one-on-one with the goalie. She'll shoot, and she will miss wide left. That may have been a pass to Stevens, as Stevens could not catch up to that one. Argensinger had the keeper running out of the goal. All she had to do was put it in, and missed opportunity there for the Cyclones, as Stevens will get this right back for the Cyclones. She'll turn it back to the center to Good. Good with a pass to Argensinger. This goes off of one of the Vikings defenders, and now Burchett runs up for a shot on goal and saved by the Vikings keeper. This goes off the head of Schumer in the direction of the Vikings, as Musich will step up. She'll kick this to Kiergaard. Kiergaard kicks it up to Stevens. Now Anderson has it. Anderson to Burchett. Burchett fights forward on the far side as this is out of bounds off of the Vikings. Burchett with a nice pass to Argensinger. Argensinger passes it to the middle, and this is in for another Ivy Stevens goal. Cyclones now up 3-0 against the Vikings, as Ivy Stevens has 2 goals on the night. Kayla Anderson with the other goal for the Cyclones. 15 minutes, 49 seconds left to play as the Cyclones finally getting some shots to go into the goal late in this first half. Vikings play with 4 defenders back on their back line. Anderson knocks it down, passes it back to Schmitz. Schmitz boots it up in the direction of Stevens. Now Good trying to thread the needle and pass it up ahead to Argensinger. This will go off of the Vikings out of bounds. Now Wicks will sub in for Stevens. Anderson has it. Now Argensinger will pass it in the direction of Burchett. It's taken away by the Vikings. This goes off of Burchett out of bounds. So the Vikings will pass it in. Cyclones will sub in Clausen and Livingston back into the game. And into the game for the first time is number 18, Adrian Earlbeck. This goes off the knee of Clausen in the direction of the Vikings, and now the Vikings trying to push it. It will go off the knee, and the Cyclones will pass it back in. This is Miller who will pass it to Burchett. Burchett now running for the Cyclones. She might as well just take it all the way as she tries to pass this, and this one's footed in by Reagan Wicks, and the Cyclones with another goal as Burchett with a stellar pass gets the assist as it goes off the foot of Wicks. All Wicks had to do was put her foot out there, and it rolled right off of it into the goal. And now the Cyclones up 4-0 on the Vikings. The Cyclones front line doing a nice job tonight. This goes off the Cyclones one more time. Now Kiergaard with a nice pass to Livingston. Livingston will pass it up to Good. Good to Clausen. Clausen going all the way across the field, and this one travels out of bounds. And the Vikings back with it. Kiergaard dances around with it. She'll finally pass it to Earlbeck. Miller passes it up to Good. Livingston trying to pass it back to the middle. Now Miller will boot it all the way across the field. This one will go to Burchett. Schumer will run up and kick this upfield. Seems like the ball's been stuck in that area for a while. Neither team able to advance it. Now Schumer will pass it in, and now Wicks. She's going to have a one-on-one with the goalie. She shoots and skies it as this is over the goal and out of bounds. Wicks already has one goal on the night as the Vikings will kick this out of the box. Clausen tries to knock it down, and it'll bounce back to Burchett. Burchett's shot is picked up by the goalie. This goes off the foot of Kiergaard, and it'll travel out of bounds. So the Vikings will pass it in. Now Kiergaard has it. She will pass it up to Wicks. Wicks trips up. It's taken away by the Vikings as Reagan Wicks had something going. Just a little stumble caused her to lose her momentum. Now Munson will pass it to Earlbeck. Munson will pass it in. Munson with a nice pass. This will get inside the defense for Wicks. The Vikings do a nice job of kicking it out of there. As Livingston will pass it in for the Cyclones. She passes this to Wicks. Wicks with a nice move. Another nice move by Wicks. She weaves her way inside. She'll pass this back to Earlbeck. Goes off the foot of Earlbeck, and the Vikings will have it. Miller puts a stop to the momentum that the Vikings had. Wicks will shoot, and just wide left. She puts some nice moves on the Vikings, and Coach Boyson will sub Wicks and Kiergaard out. And in comes Schwezo. Burchett now on the far side. This is kicked out of bounds by the Vikings. So the Cyclones will attempt a corner kick. Clausen's kick is intercepted by the Vikings. Now the Vikings on the push the other way as Schumer will kick this out of bounds. Schumer's pass is up to Good. Good will cross over. Now she'll pass this up to Schwezo. Schwezo will have a one-on-one with the keeper. Keeper runs out and once again intercepts Schwezo's kick. Munson passes it into Miller. Miller will kick it downfield as Good now has it. Good gets stopped by the Vikings. This shot is once again picked up by the keeper. Now Miller will pass it up for Clausen. Clausen gets it stolen from. Kicked out of bounds by the Vikings. Clausen with a nice pass to Burchett. Michaela Burchett will run into the goalie as the keeper comes out of the box one more time. She's done that all night and it disrupts the Cyclones. Clausen loses it. She'll now turn it back as she looks to shoot. She's short and this will be picked up by the keeper once again. Vikings will sub some more in. Earlbeck trying to cut that one off. as she tries to pass upfield, deflected off of the Vikings. And the official will call hands. So Munson will kick this. She'll tap it to Miller. Miller trying to kick it up to Earlbeck. Earlbeck can't get a foot on it. Now Munson will run up. Miller trying to put a stop to that. It's kicked out of bounds by the Vikings. Now Livingston has it, as it'll go once again out of bounds off of the Vikings. Schumer will kick it up. As the official will call offsides on the Vikings, so the Cyclones will get it back going the other way. Miller passes it. That is good. Passes it up for Schwezo. 30 seconds remaining. As Schwezo could do something here. She kicks it to herself. Now the goalie once again run out. And nice call by the far official there, as the Vikings did get their hands on it. And there will be a penalty kick for the Cyclones. This will most likely be the end of the half, as Bryn Clausen will attempt this penalty kick. Clausen's kick is up and over, and that will be the end of the first half. The Cyclones up 4-0 against the AHSTW Vikings. Take a short break here. We'll be right back with second half coverage. You're watching HLTV on channel 15.
Programming brought to you by these great sponsors: Keith Motors, Cyclone Lanes, Shelby County State Bank, United Bank of Iowa, Holly Jones Funeral Homes, KNOD Radio, Shelby County Farmers Mutual and Century Farm Insurance, and the Peterson Wellness Center and Lewis Family Aquatic Complex.
Welcome back to HLTV Channel 15, as Reagan Wicks will get things started here for the Cyclones in the second half. Cyclones lead 4-0. Reagan Wicks will work things for the Cyclones. Schmitz to Anderson. Anderson will pass it back to Schmitz. Schmitz will pass it across the field to Burchett. Nice pass by Munson all the way up to Good. Now Good passes it to Wicks, and Wicks, this one will travel in for a goal. Reagan Wicks with their second goal of the night, and the Cyclones up 5-0 on the AHSTW Vikings. That was Stevens who passed it to Wicks. That goal came within 57 seconds of the start of the second half. Stevens will pass it up for Wicks. Wicks trying to kick it up to herself, as the Vikings will kick it out of bounds. Munson will flip and pass this one in. It goes off of Wicks. Now Burchett will battle for it, and she'll pass it back to Munson. Vikings trying to work it upfield, as the Cyclones doing a nice job of keeping it on one side, as Stevens will now run with it for the Cyclones. She'll pass this back to Wicks. Wicks will dance around, she'll shoot, and the keeper will fall on this one. Foul will be called on Munson. Vikings run up and kick this one forward, as Miller will now work it back the other way for the Cyclones. Ava Miller will pass it up to Stevens. Stevens will have a one-on-one with the goalie. Stevens will shoot. The goalie runs out of the box, and she saves it once again. Vikings trying to work it back downfield as Miller cuts that one off. Now at the foot of Wicks. Stevens will try to kick this ahead to Wicks. A little bit too strong, and the goalie will end up with this in her hands once again. Argensinger will pass this up to Schwiezo. Schwiezo gets her foot on it, unable to stop it. Travels to the goalie, who will pick it up. Miller will try passing this across the field to Burchett. Gets intercepted by the Vikings. Burchett with a nice pass up ahead to Stevens. This one will get kicked out of bounds by the Vikings. Anderson passes it to Burchett. Now that's Stevens. He's on the run. She gets tripped up. There will be a foul called on the Vikings. Wicks will kick this away for the Cyclones. Reagan Wicks' kick will sail into the net for a goal. Another goal by Reagan Wicks. That makes the score 6-0 in favor of the Cyclones. Reagan Wicks puts that over the goalie's head where she's unable to get to it. Nothing that she could have done in that scenario. Anderson will try passing this back to the middle. Now Good with it. She'll pass it up. Kiergaard passes this to Anderson. Anderson with a nice pass to Burchett on the far side. Burchett trying to work it up. Now Good will have it. She'll shoot, and the keeper breaks down to both of her knees and will pick this one up. Munson does a nice job of settling that ball to the ground. This is kicked out of bounds once again by the Vikings. This is Schwezo who will pass it to Stevens. Stevens up to Wicks. Reagan Wicks will have to catch up to this one. And it's knocked out of bounds by the Vikings. And the Cyclones will have a corner kick as the Cyclones will clear out their bench. Jared Boyson will sub in everyone, it looks like. Clausen will run over to the corner to attempt a corner kick. This will go out of bounds off of Livingston. Good, trying to take a shot at that one, just wide right. As the Vikings will kick this out of the box. Vikings will boot it up. This will be stopped by Kiergaard as the ball travels up into the air. Headed forward by the Vikings. This will go out of bounds off of the Vikings, so the Cyclones will pass it in once again. Livingston trying to catch up to this one. She'll take a shot on goal, and it's saved once again by the keeper. Clausen gets it stolen from her. This is kicked out of bounds by Schumer, so the Vikings will pass it in. Vikings now on the move as they will try to shoot. This goes out of bounds. Go off the Cyclones, so the Vikings will attempt a corner kick. First time the Vikings have had this opportunity. The corner kick will end up in the hands of Alexi Musich, the keeper for the Cyclones. Musich has done a lot of standing tonight as she hasn't had much action in the box. So Earl Beck working with it. Good. We'll try kicking this ahead. And it'll travel out of bounds. Vikings will kick this out of the box. Good will step up in front of this one as she has some open room. Good will shoot, and Good scores. Haley Good with their first goal of the game. And she puts another goal up for the Harlan Community Cyclones. Cyclones now up 7-0 with 26 minutes and 32 seconds left to play. Haley Good did a nice job. She was able to kick it before the keeper ran out of the box. The Cyclones have had trouble doing that all night. Schumer kicks it out of bounds. Good pass it upfield to Earlbeck. Earlbeck kicks it a little bit too far as this is going to be taken away by the Vikings. As the Vikings come back the other way with it. Schumer will turn this around for the Cyclones. She gets it stolen one more time as the Vikings now on the run. Kiergaard trying to cut the Vikings off as Frosto will kick it out of bounds. The Vikings will pass it back in. Cyclones will get called for hands as the Vikings will kick it at the 15-yard line. This is going to be Musage's first challenge of the night. This goes off of one of those defenders that were standing there for the Cyclones, making a brick wall. Now the Cyclones are going to try to clear it as it goes off Frosto one more time out of bounds. Clausen will pass this to Cassie Anderson, who then passes it across the field to Livingston. Livingston now working it up. She puts a stop to the ball. She'll pass this to Frosto. Frosto will try passing this to Livingston. Puts a little bit too much on it and a little bit in front of Livingston, and she was unable to catch up to that one, so the Vikings boot it downfield. This will go out of bounds. Last touch by the Cyclones. Excuse me. Last touch by the Vikings. So the Cyclones will pass it in. Out of bounds off the Vikings, so the Cyclones will have another corner kick. She'll kick this to the middle off Livingston, and the keeper will dive to get on top of this one. Clausen trying to go inside out, taken away by the Vikings. Clausen will get it back, pass it in. Kiergaard dances with it. She'll pass it to Clausen. Clausen trying to work with it, gets it taken away by the Vikings. Looks like we'll take another water break. Cyclones up 7-0 against the AHSTW Vikings. 19 minutes, 24 seconds left to play when we come back from this break. You're watching HLTV on Channel 15.
Programming brought to you by these great sponsors: Keast Motors, Cyclone Lanes, Shelby County State Bank, United Bank of Iowa, Holly Jones Funeral Homes, KNOD Radio, Shelby County Farmers Mutual and Century Farm Insurance, and the Peterson Wellness Center and Lewis Family Aquatic Complex.
Welcome back to HLTV, Channel 15, as we get things started once again. This is Cassie Anderson. We'll try passing it to Livingston. Now Frosto will work it downfield as she passes this to Livingston. And this will travel out of bounds, so the Vikings will once again have a kick out of the box. Foul will be called on the Vikings, so the Cyclones will kick it away. Frosto passes it to Earlbeck. Earlbeck trying to pass it to Livingston, gets taken away by the Vikings. Nice pass by Frosto. Livingston can't catch up to this one. Keeper will pick it up. Cyclones working it back downfield, kicked out of bounds by the Vikings. Livingston trying to catch up to this one. Travel out of bounds, and the Vikings will once again kick it out of the box. This one goes off Anderson, kicked out of bounds. Off Anderson, kicked out of bounds by the Vikings, as the Cyclones will sub in Schmitz, Miller, and Wicks. Burchett and Anderson will both return for the Cyclones, as Livingston and Clausen will come out. Reagan Wicks with it for the Cyclones, as she'll pass this up to Burchett. Burchett has the goalie to beat. She will shoot and score. Michaela Burchett with another goal for the Harlan Community Cyclones. That brings the Cyclones total up to 8 goals. None scored yet by the HSTW Vikings. Nice shot by Burchett, as she was able to sneak that right underneath the goalie. This goes off Anderson, so the Vikings will pass it in. Musage will save this one, as that's her second catch of the game for the Cyclones. This will take a Cyclones bounce, as Anderson will try to outrun the Vikings, and this is kicked out of bounds by the Vikings. Tossed in, and this will go off of Miller, and the Vikings will kick it out of the box. This travels out of bounds off of Schmitz. The Vikings get ready to kick this out of the box. Arkensinger will boot it ahead for the Cyclones. This is Miller with it. Burchett will run to get this one. Albertson passes it up to Anderson. Kayla Anderson trying to outrun the Vikings. She puts a nice move on there, and she kicks this one right in the face of a Viking. As the Cyclones will have a corner kick. Reagan Wicks attempts the corner kick, sends this right off the body of Miller, and Miller almost is able to put it in the goal as it's saved by the AHSTW keeper, who has stayed busy tonight. This is Wicks. Gets it taken from her momentarily. Now Burchett ends up with it. Wicks passes it to Miller. Miller with a nice move. Now Ava Miller will try to shoot. I believe the Cyclones will get a penalty kick off this. It looks like Ava Miller will be the one to shoot for the Cyclones. Miller set, ready to go. She shoots, and this is saved by the keeper. Now the Cyclones will sub in Schwiezo, Kiergaard, Livingston, and Clausen all back onto the turf for the Cyclones. This goes off Schumer, now Kiergaard with it. Schmitz dribbles it around, passes it to Munson. Munson back to Schmitz. The Vikings will boot this back upfield. As Schwiezo Vikings pass it back in as they will run down the far side. Looks like Argensinger will wait for Musage to catch up to this one. Musage kicks it right off the head of the Vikings, and the Viking player is down. We'll let the medical staff attend to her as she got hit pretty hard. We'll be right back on HLTV Channel 15.
Programming brought to you by these great sponsors: Keast Motors, Cyclone Lanes, Shelby County State Bank, United Bank of Iowa, Holly Jones Funeral Homes, KNOD Radio, Shelby County Farmers Mutual and Century Farm Insurance, and the Peterson Wellness Center and Lewis Family Aquatic Complex.
Welcome Welcome back to HLTV Channel 15. As play will resume, as the injured Viking is able to get off the field on her own power. Argensinger trying to kick it forward. It's blocked by the Vikings and will travel out of bounds as Argensinger will pass back in, but the subs will come in for the Cyclones. Wicks, Earlbeck, and Anderson will all sub back in. This is Miller who has it. Miller will take a shot wide right. Ava Miller has had a few shots on goal tonight. Unable to come up with any. As the Cyclones still up 8-0 with 5 minutes 35 seconds remaining in the second half. Now Miller in close to the goal is unable to end up with anything as it travels out of bounds off of the Cyclones, or excuse me, off the Vikings. The Cyclones will attempt a corner kick. This ball goes up in the air. Travel to Schwezo, who passes it ahead to Livingston. Livingston unable to catch up to this one once again, as the keeper will dive on top of this. Schmitz will try passing this one to Clausen. Now Schwezo will pass it up to Livingston. Livingston trying to catch up to it. She'll put a stop to the ball, but it's taken away by the Vikings, as it will be saved. A nice save by Miller, it looks like. This goes off of a Viking. Wicks will pass it in. Down to Schmitz. Schmitz gets it stolen from her. Nice pass by Schwezo up to Livingston. Keeper comes out of the box. Disrupts Livingston's shot. Miller's kick will sky over the goal. Clausen will run up to get this one. As Earlbeck will try to take a shot. Goes off the side of her foot. Cyclones still have it, as this one will travel out of bounds. Looks like the Cyclones will attempt a corner kick. This will go out of bounds off the Cyclones, so the Vikings will kick this out of the box. Now Miller with it. She'll have a chance. Nice move by Ava Miller as she puts it in the net for another Cyclone goal. Ava Miller crossed up the goalie with 26 seconds left to play and scores this one for the Cyclones, as the Cyclones are now up 9-0 against the Vikings. Cassie Anderson trying to pass it upfield. This one goes off the foot of the Vikings. Travels down to Musage, who will pick it up.
3, 2, 1.
And that will be the end of this game. The Cyclones will win, as they never let off the gas pedal. They win this 9-0 against the AHSTW Vikings. Boys will finish out the night. They're up next. They will once again play the Vikings. We'll have that coverage live on HLTV Channel 15 when we return.